Let's get it. Khan. All praise to the Most High. YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man. That's all praises to the Most High, whose name is Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world refers to as Jesus Christ, is the Savior in the nation of Israel. All right, Shabbat Shalom, Yasha Allah.
What's up, brother? Is that right?
Khan, come back, y'all. Yet another video through the Spirit power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Hamashiach Yahawashi. All right. Shabbat Shalom to the 12, all that's observing it Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Through the Spirit, another day of praying, another day of resting, another day of congregating with like-minded individuals in the truth, man. All praises to the Most High. So as you can see from the title of this video, we'd be going into addressing a lot of madness that we've seen, a lot of madness, right? A lot of madness that we've seen. And I'm pretty sure brothers, if brothers are keeping up with it, have seen the damn madness that's been going on in terms of doctrinally wise, right? A lot of the madness doctrinally wise. So what we're going to do is we're going to essentially address it. All right. We're going to essentially address this madness because it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. Right. When you see a false doctrine, somebody doing a false teaching, and guess what? It's our job to kind of address that thing. It's our job to kind of break down that stronghold that's on our people. All right, because let's get some intro precepts to the Spirit. All right, let's get some intro precepts of the Spirit. It's our job to address that thing. If a brother is telling us that we can now eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, that we can now, hey, guess what? You don't have to keep the law. You don't have to keep the law anymore. If a brother is teaching that, then guess what we're going to say to him? We're going to go to the precepts. We're going to see if the Lord said that or not. We're going to prove the doctrine of the Bible. All right? Because you have brothers now saying, calling upon the name of Yahweh Bashar, but are saying, in the name of Yahweh Bashar, we bless this pork. We bless these pork chops. Well, guess what? Is that a doctrine in the Bible that's actually valid? Is that valid? That's not valid. All right. That's not the doctrine of the Most High. Cannot eat pork, right? Shrimp, crab, and lobster. These are the basics. But now you have brothers saying that you can do that. And they're so-called in the truth. All right. These are not just Christians. See, if a Christian says that, all right, fine. I mean, that's still a heresy. But if a Christian says it, I expect you to say that. I don't expect a brother calling upon the name of Yahweh Bashar, right? Saying Yahweh's day. I don't expect that brother to say, "Oh yeah, you can eat pork." Well, I'm gonna get down this pork. I don't expect that brother to say that. I expect whoever calls upon the name of Yahweh Bashar is walking in uprightness and righteousness in the law. That's what I expect, right? But Shabbat Shalom, King. Hey, all praise to the Most High. All right. So let's get an intro precept. I'm gonna get mine. Let's go to the book of 2 Timothy. Right, let's go to 2 Timothy. Kind of want to start with that. 2 Timothy chapter 2. Salaki 3. And let's go to verse number let's go to verse 13. All right. Yeah, let's get that to the Spirit. Pull it up too. All right.
2 Timothy 2 and 13.
2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 13.
All right, this is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived.
Right. So it says, evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. That's how you know we're in the last days. Right. That's how you know we're in the last days, when spirits hop on brothers and sisters. All right. Sisters are not exempt. Sisters can, spirits can hop on sisters too, to be deceived or to seduce. But we're in this case, we're talking about one certain man seducing, deceiving, and being deceived. Because this brother that we're about to show on the screen, and there's a video that he kind of did now, leadership, they did a video, Naquam Oriah, did a video on a live on, this brother, in terms of his first video. But he did a video. He did a basically a response to them, right? And he said, "Message to the watchman." Now I'm gonna show it on the screen. Just the video that we're finna go into, most I willing, right? Now it's a message to the watchman, not Quan rebuke. So this is not just to not Quam, it's not just to Orion. If you say message to the watchman, everybody knows what that means. It's talking about the watchman for Israel. All right. And I think in the video he said watchman of Israel. All right. Hey, put some respect on the name, man. Not hey, we're not camp banging, we're not doing anything like that, but kind of brother talking about he speaks to Hebrew, but he spelled Naquan's name wrong. First of all, he said Naquan, and we're the watchmen for Israel through the Spirit. But nevertheless, it don't matter the camp name, right? It don't matter the camp name. I'm just putting that out there. He said, I think he said, if not mistaken, watchmen of Israel, which is the same thing, right? But the brother is kind of showing lack of, appreciation or respect for the names that the Most High has given us. But nevertheless, he's doing a response to the whole camp. If you say a message to the watchman, you're kind of addressing the whole camp as a whole, right? If somebody said watchman to IUIC, I mean it's like a message to IUIC, you're doing a response or a message to the whole camp. You're not just doing it just to the leadership. We're part of the watchman. All right. So Bakan. So I just want to read that one more time and I'll pass it to the brother. So it says, evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. So you have men out here deceiving people, as we can see from the video and from the comments as well, and from the subscribers and people kind of congratulating this brother or praising this brother because he's the alleged King of David back on the earth. As he says later in the video, he said King David, right? Kind of did a salute, his salute at King David, Shalom, all praises to YAHAWASHI. He said that he said that in the and then towards the end of the video. He said, "Hey, it's your King David, all right, signing off, basically." Right? So, brothers, some brothers think that he's a King David. All right. So he's deceiving people, man. All right. And being deceived. And this is all by, as he says, I'm going to use this word, all by design of the Most High. All right. But come, brothers got it.
That's plain through the Spirit. The brother said it plain,
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the brother is speaking things not of, ultimately not of the scriptures, and ultimately he's taking even the brother's rebuke out of hatred. This really wasn't out of hatred. It was out of like sadness, man, sadness and concern.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's how you show your brotherly love. By rebuking one another. And showing people, hey, the band have about 519 people and his subscribers listening to him and taking what he said to heart. So you kind of deceiving people and things like that, right? Let me get this piece of first, right? So let me get this wrong. Let me get Galatians. It's Galatians chapter 1 and verse 8. It says, I'm gonna start at 7. It says, Galatians chapter 1, verse 7, it says, which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and will pervert the gospel of Mashiach. So it's one that troubled the spirits, man. Troubled our spirit, troubled us and perverted the gospel, man. Christ, right? It says, but though we are an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you, then that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. So we seeing the things, that's the things that the brother was saying, right? A hoary head, man, like the brother Jeremiah. You gotta earn that elder title, man.
Yeah.
Earn that elder title. That hoary head is saying all type of perverse things of Mashiach, man. Things that you can't find in the scriptures, things that taking things out of context of brother's videos, in the other brother videos and things like that, you know, and saying things that, hey, that's not in the scriptures, right? Let me get the last precept, right? Let me get the spirit. Let me get this real quick. Let me get Titus chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, holding fast the faithful word as he had been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers. You know, that's what we do every Shabbat coming in every Friday nights, man. Hoping that we could exhort both the gainsayers and give exhortation. Verse 10, it says, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, right? You know, so when we watch the video, man, the brother, a lot of times, hey, I'm speaking this, I'm speaking that, man. I'm doing this, I'm, you know, how he feel, right? You know, verse 11, it says, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not. And brother teaching things he ought not to teach, man. Teaching the things that, hey, is blatant. Know that you shouldn't do that, man. It's blatant, man. It's plain. It says for filthy lucre's sake. And you know, not saying the brother is for filthy lucre's sake, but the whole point is if he teaching things that he shouldn't be teaching, and that should be stopped through the spirit, man. You know, but Khan, you got a king.
Khan, exactly. Yep. It says teaching things that they ought not, man. You ought not to teach that the law is done away with. You ought not to teach. And now the reason why I titled the video the way I titled it is because the brother said, now again, this video, and as the brother was bring it out through the spirit. Oh, Salaki, hold on. Let me just close this out real quick. Now, as the brother is saying, I want to highlight a certain point in the video because again, the video is about what is 31 minutes long. So brother's not going to watch the whole video. If you want to watch the whole video, you can go ahead and check it out for yourself, right? But the brother said a very, very crucial thing, right? I'm gonna let it play, and I'm gonna let y'all hear what he said. All right, I'm gonna let y'all hear what he said through the spirit.
Are being just
Brothers can hear it.
Okay.
All right, okay.
They lose their sleep over this, man. Over a piece of meat.
Wait, hold on. So he's talking about us, right? Or he's talking about not only us, but he might be in reference to Zakari or GMS, whoever camps are kind of doing videos on this brother. But he's saying that we're essentially losing sleep over a piece of meat. And that piece of meat is talking about brothers. Remember the video that basically started all of this, you know, the all praises video where you're saying this is YAHAWASHI day. And he said, if anybody thinks that we're celebrating the slaughter of the Native Americans, that's a damn lie. But I mean, brother, you're literally having a whole feast, unclean foods upon Thanksgiving, calling it YAHAWASHI's day, making that an excuse, you know. But essentially, the brother is talking about, in reference to that piece of meat, he's talking about unclean foods. He said, we're losing sleep over that. Well, that's kind of disrespectful to all of our forefathers that died for the laws of the Most High, that we're not constrained to eat any unclean thing, right? That did not submit themselves to the will of the Gentiles by eating unclean meat. That's disrespectful to them. He said, y'all losing sleep over this, over a piece of meat. It's just pork. It's just a piece of meat. Well, why don't you tell that to the righteous of our forefathers then? Oh man, it's just a piece of meat, bro. Just eat it. So, hey, hold on, slow. So let's get a hold on. I want to get like two priests on that, right? So lucky, man. I want to get like two priests on that, man. Right? Because that's just madness. That's literally just madness, right? Let's go to the book of Second Maccabees, right? Second Maccabees chapter 6. All right. Now, I want to get to the point because I don't want to spend too much time on this. Just one point, but Second Maccabees chapter 6 verse 18. All right, let's get that then. All right, Second Maccabees 6 and 18. Oh,
Second, the second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 18, and it reads, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth to eat swine's flesh, but he chose rather to die gloriously than to live, stained with such an abomination, spit it forth, and came of his own according to the torment.
So, essentially, not. Let me go back to on Slacking on this. It says, of a well-favored countenance was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. What is the brother eating? Swine's flesh. He's eating willingly. He's eating it willingly. And Eleazar was constrained to eat it. Now, what did he do? Did he say it's just a piece of meat? Did he say, well, it's YAHAWASHI's day, so Nah, he said, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination. Spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment. What does that mean, that he came to his own accord to the torment? Meaning that he was willingly tormented. He was willingly tormented because he would not eat swine's flesh, man. So that's how much of an abomination it was to our forefathers that died gloriously because they didn't want to eat a so-called piece of meat, man. All they had to do was just eat this piece of meat.
Mm-hmm.
This piece of unclean food. That's all they had to do in front of all these other Israelites. So that, it's like, oh, well, guess what? This elder is eating it. Why can't y'all eat it? Well, guess what, man? And this kind of reminds me, this is like the opposite of Eleazar, right? It's like the opposite of Eleazar. In the spirit. You got Eleazar, just like how you had the righteous Enoch and you had the wicked Enoch in the book of Genesis. Well, hey, you got the righteous Eleazar, you got the wicked Eleazar, right? That is essentially promoting the eating of pork, right? And saying it's just a piece of meat. And, God forbid I'll die over that. And you got the righteous Eleazar keeping the commandments of the Most High God and not eating unclean food. All praise to the Most High. Hey, peace be upon the brother Eleazar, man, forever and ever. So, Bakan. Yeah, and again, brothers can read this whole account in Second Maccabees chapter 6, but for the sake of time, we're not going to read the whole account. But that's a mighty, mighty account, man. He chose rather to die gloriously than to eat such an abomination as pork. Bakan, brothers got it.
Hey, brother, it's so many accounts where nobody ain't eating swine flesh at all. Man.
Right.
I'm gonna get another account in First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 63. It reads, "Howbeit many in Israel were full resolved and can conform in themselves not to eat any unclean thing, for they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died." Hey, that's plain, man. They knew about the covenant of the Most High Yahweh. Hey, keeping the laws is a part of that covenant, and they know, do not eat anything unclean, no unclean meats, right? Because he wanna say, you think I'm gonna eat a cat? Hey, brother, you might eat anything. We don't know. You might eat anything. If you eat pig, you might as well eat a damn cat, man. Or you might as well eat a dog, man. They all in the same boat because why? They are unclean meats. So it's plenty of precepts. Even in Second Maccabees chapter 7 on down, the woman, she was like, hey, my children, they gonna die, man. You're not eating no pork, man. So it's precepts to show that, as the Israelites keeping the covenant of the Most High, how we know not to eat no damn meat, swine flesh, man, or anything that's unclean. That the Most High already put a difference between what's clean and unclean. Let me get that precept real quick, right? And that's Leviticus, right? In the law, right?
You said what?
I'm gonna get this precept real quick, man.
Okay, come.
Let me get this
Yeah,
precept.
I'm gonna pull up something after you.
Praise. This is Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 47. To make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten. So the Most High, we know He don't change. So whatever He said in the beginning, and He's not going to change up at the end. That's plain. He already stated what's to be clean and what's not, what's to be clean and what's to be unclean, what beast you can eat and what beast you cannot eat. Right? Khan, you got a king.
Con. Yep, that's a good precept on that too. And also I was just going to bring this up, man, because according to Google, pigs are omnivorous scavengers, right? So you look that up. It says creatures that eat the meat of dead animals, right? If they find a dead animal, they eat it, right? So you gonna eat that, as the brother was saying. In the video, this brother says, now does that he pulled a precept. He said, you hear that, Naquan? Eat of all thing. He pulled Romans 14. Now we can go into that too. We're going to get into Romans 14, man. And we're going to show you how you have a faulty understanding, brother, on that precept. You should want to pull one precept and just make a whole doctrine and disannul all the other prophecies and other precepts in the whole Bible. You can't do that. That's not proper, as Sakari would say. That's not proper hermeneutics. All right. Whereas using all these the big words, but that's not how you properly break down the Bible. Hey, I'm gonna get the classic. I can read it. It's the classic. Everybody know this precept, right? Well, everybody should know this precept. This is Isaiah 28 and verse 9. It says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Right? For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. So I bet you this brother's not going to precept upon precept. In this whole video, he only pulls like 3 precepts. And then he tries to, and even on that, he tries to make fun of Naquan for pulling 20 precepts, 25 precepts. He said, yeah, I know you like a AK-47 with the precepts. How is that like an insult? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that, I don't know if he's trying to insult the brother or not, but that's not to me, that's not an insult.
Man.
Brother said, yeah, you like an AK-47 with the pre. I'm like, hey, all praises. The water. That's a compliment. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's you know what I'm saying? So in the video, he says that, man. So you should want to be like a AK-47 with the precepts. You can just pull 3 precepts and then that's the doctrine. I don't have to pull anymore. You should if you get it, if you don't, you don't. Tight spirit. That's the spirit he's moving in. Well, you want me to pull 100 precepts? Hey, 3 precepts. The Lord said, hey, 3 is the number of completion. If a brother says to me, oh, well, if I say, hey, you got another witness on that? I don't need another witness. And the Lord said 3 is the number of completion. So I don't have to get another witness. It's like, all right, brother. Hey, I don't know. I don't know about that thing. I would have to, you know what I'm saying? Hey, the Lord said precept upon precept. All right. So this brother's not doing that, man. He's not doing that. All right. Because if you did, then you would have to explain these thousands of other precepts that say literally the opposite of what this brother is saying. All right. But point on that.
I was gonna bring a precept. I don't have to build it. I was gonna pull it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, like you was saying, you acting like that's terrible, man. But the Most High says, "Speak of the oracles of the Most High."
Mm-hmm.
He gonna pull 1,000 precepts if he had to.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You should glory in that. Yeah. Yeah. This 30 precepts on this. Hey, that would be way more of a valid doctrine than just pulling 3 precepts. And the Bible has over thousands and thousands of precepts. You know, now you just pull 3 and then make your doctrine, right? So it's crazy. But and something as big as this, now brothers are saying, well, you know, if brothers are debating about something minuscule or something small, like you know, what color, you know, was Judith's hair? It's like, all right, brother, you know, don't have to, that's not a serious thing, you know, or I don't know, something minuscule, right? Your brother just pulled, you know, it's not many precepts, you know, you can go into it, the history and, you know, pull up the documents, whatever. You know, it's something just minuscule. But brothers is going, I mean, something as far as, you know, do we keep the law or not? That's something major. That's a salvific issue, man. All right. That pertains to your salvation. Whether or not, hey, this and third, you know, it doesn't matter. But what pertains to your salvation, not keeping the law, or keeping the law or not, or keeping the dietary law, the so-called dietary law, hey, guess what? That's something major. You know, you don't play around with that. You don't just play around with that. It's just like, yeah, you know. So, and also, Slack, I'm pulling this up because these are all scavengers. Pigs are known as scavengers. A pig is a scavenger. That's why you have the boar here, which is you know, if I'm not mistaken, in the family of the pigs. You know, boars are just like pigs. So, you know, but again, I'm not a zoologist or anything like that. But you know, this is a diagram or essentially a chart, you know, made to show the different scavengers in the earth. So, if you were to look at this chart, obviously, brothers wouldn't eat these certain things. Brothers are not going to eat a hornet. There are certain hornets that eat upon flesh, right? Raccoon, brothers are not going to eat a raccoon. Brothers are not going to eat, you know, what is that, opossum or possum? Brothers not eating storks, all right? Brothers not eating vultures, obviously. Brothers not eating hyenas, foxes, and, you know, jackals. Brothers not eating these things. But when it comes to the pork, yeah, fire that upon the grill and put that upon what is it, the Coca-Cola ham? Yeah, you know, let
World
it. It's like you said, what?
the world famous.
The world famous ham, man. You know, get in there with the ham. So you might as well just cook these other things too. I mean, get the boar in there, get the hyena in there, the foxes. What's the difference? Because they all eat upon dead flesh of animals, right? They're all scavengers. Eat whatever's in front of them. They kind of munch on it, you know. But that's madness, man. You know, it's madness. So, yeah. I mean, let's get back to the video, Salakia, right?
And they're going through every scripture known to man to try to substantiate their cause. And nothing's worked. All right, because it can't. If what y'all are missing is, all right, what y'all Pharisees are missing is YAHAWASHI didn't keep the law of Moses, man. Now I know you're gonna say that's heresy too. Well, I'm gonna make you lose some more sleep. All throughout the Gospels, he called it your law. Isn't it written in your law? Did he not? When did he say our law? He never said that because the Hawashai didn't keep the law of Moses. Let me give another little breakdown real quick. Royal House. I know y'all like, man, how long is this gonna go on? Well, it's gonna go on for about another couple of weeks, so you might as well buckle up. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 5.
Wait, hold on. So so again, he's going to go to Matthew 5 to try to validate what he said, right? Try to I guess, as me and Cyrac, you know, we watched the video. I watched the video, you know, the whole thing. But me and the brother was talking about this video before we even got in live. And we're talking about how he's pulling precepts that don't even validate what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, I'll give you Romans 14. Okay, Con, that, all right, brother. But you're going to Matthew 5 and 17 to try to validate, but you're not proving anything with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In fact, you're kind of going against what you're talking. That's a precept I'll go to. That's a precept I'll go to. But anyways, I just want to make a point. He's saying Yahawashi did not keep the law. Okay, so again, that's why I made that the kind of center the video, because he did make a lot of points, but that's the main point I want to touch on, because that's a full-on heresy. I mean, that's one of the biggest heresies you can make.
Hey, Salaki King, before you even go to that, he said that it's the law of Moses. Like, why you keep saying that? Like,
right.
Why you keep saying it's the law of Moses? No, it's the law of the Most High God.
Right.
That's plain. I'm gonna get a piece of to show you that, man. He keeps saying like that law is Moses got it and he gave it out, and we know having understanding the law always been here from the beginning, from the clear cut from the beginning. So he keeps saying Moses' law is not Moses' law. Right? This is Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. It says, the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. So he keeps saying the law of Moses. We understand that Moses, he gave the written law, which we know as the Torah, which you can find in the first 5 books of the Bible. But when you break it down, we know the law always been here from the beginning. Adam was keeping the law. Noah was keeping the law. All these perfect, upright, righteous men, they was keeping the law. Job was keeping the law. So he kept saying that, like, these men that was before Moses wasn't keeping the law, which that's not true. And we know he keeps trying to say it's Moses' law, but it's really the Most High Yahweh's law. Right? You got it, King. Because like he kept saying that, and I'm like, why he keeps saying that?
Mm-hmm. Right, Khan, exactly. And that's something that a lot of Christians like to do. They like to, and I don't know if they're doing this subconsciously. I think they do it subconsciously, but they're saying they're trying to make a difference between the law of Moses and the law of God. These are, as the brother said, one and the same. You can't make a difference between the law of Moses and the law of God. There's no difference. And if a Christian likes to say, well, you have new commandments, you have the law of Christ. Well, guess what? The laws that Yahawashi came with are in the law of Moses, or it's in the law of the Most High initially. So it's one and the same. All right, and we're going to that too. We're going to address the fact that the brother said, he also did pull. I'm not sure if he pulled the new commandment I run into you. Right, but that's something that a lot of Christians like to pull as well. A new commandment I give unto you. See, it says a new commandment. What's that new commandment? That you love one another as you love yourself. That's already in the Old Testament. So how is that a new thing? That new is essentially going into what? A renewed commandment, right? That was brought to the Israelites again. Yahawashi had to come and radicalize the law. He had to come to reteach the law and to make it plain upon tables. That's why he was saying that. All right, but Khan, let's go to Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 1. Right? We're going to read that, and then we're going to read verse 8 to show you, right, to show everybody plainly that the law of Moses is the law of God. Khan, you got it, King.
God, this is Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 1. And all the people gathered themselves together as one man into the street that was before the water gate. And they spake unto Ezra, the scribe, to bring the book of the law of Moses, which the Lord had commanded to Israel.
Right. So that's one thing right there, too. It says the law of Moses, right, which the Lord had commanded to Israel. People kind of like forget that. The Lord Moses didn't come up with the law. He just sitting upon a rock and just like, kind of just thinking like, yeah, no pork, And no, the Lord literally told Moses what to say, he wrote it down, and boom. It's called the law of Moses because the Lord gave the commandments to Moses to give to Israel. That's why it's called the law of Moses. But as we can see right here, let's go to verse 8. It's also called the law of God. Con, you got it.
Verse 8. This is Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 8. So they read in the book, in the law of God, distinctly, and gave the sense and caused them to understand the reading.
Con, exactly. It says they read in the book of the law of God distinctly. So which law of God is this? The law of Moses. It's the same thing as we read in verse 1. It's the same context. All right. So that's plain, so all praise to the Most High. So yeah, disproving that. But again, the brother said, again, I'm gonna let it play. All right. You know what I'm saying? This is it's heresy, man. All right.
Which all Pharisees are missing.
And also, yeah, we're Pharisees all of a sudden, right? Because keeping the law. So,
YAHAWASHI didn't keep the law of Moses, man. Now, I know you're going to say that's heresy too. Well, I'm going to make you lose some more sleep. All throughout the Gospels, he called it your law. Isn't it written in your law? Did he not? When did he say our law? He never said that because YAHAWASHI didn't keep the law of Moses. Let me give another little breakdown real quick.
Okay, so he said just because now I know this is not just why he believes that, but he said, well, all throughout the Gospels, Yahweh said your law. So what does that mean, though? What is that supposed to mean? That doesn't mean that he didn't keep the law. All right. Now we're going to prove that did Yahweh keep the law or not? Did Yahweh keep the law or not? All right. Let's get into it. Man. Let's get into it, man. Right. So first precept I want to pull, man. Right. It's just literally a cut from the start. Right. Let's go to John 15 verse 10. To literally just cut it up. That. God.
This is St. John chapter 15 and verse 10, and it reads, if you keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love.
So it says, if ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. What's the Father's commandments? Right? What's the Father's commandments? Brother, you cut on this, man. You don't have an answer for this. I would like to see this brother pull John 15 and 10 and break that down. Right? Because look, you can't get around this. When Yahweh say, I have kept my Father's commandments, what does that mean? That means that he kept the law. He kept the law. Now he can't be, oh no, that's the law of Christ. Nah. He said his Father, he didn't say my own commandments. He said the Father's commandments, which would be what? The laws, so-called law of Moses, man. Right? The law of God, the law of the Most High. All right. So that means he didn't eat no pork. All right. He wasn't celebrating no wicked holidays. He wasn't you know what I'm saying? Hey, guess what? He wore fringes, and we can prove that too. He wore fringes, Hey, guess what? He was keeping the Passover. He was keeping the feast days, man. Right? So he was keeping the law. All right, Khan. I'm gonna get one more, and then you got it. And then I'm gonna get more after you too, Khan. Let's get through the spirit. I wanted to get this one actually. I'll get fringes. I'll get fringes. I'll get fringes. Unless you have fringes. I know you probably.
You got it, King. You got it, King.
All right, Khan. This is Mark chapter 6, verse 56. Khan, let's get that.
The same Mark chapter 6, verse 56. And it reads, and whatsoever he enter into the villages or cities or country, they laid the sick in the streets and besought him that they might touch if it were but the border of his garment, and as many as touched him were made whole.
So you had a lot of people trying to touch The border of Yahawashi's garment. So what does the border of his garment mean? Let's go into the Greek. All right, border of his garment. Wonder why they would try to touch the border of his garment, right? Just try to just look at that precept, just try to think about it. Okay, well, what's at the border of his garment? Why not his, why not his legs? Why not, what I'm saying, his shoes? Like, why is it the border of his garment? Because they knew, hey, there was something on the border of his garment, man. They could see it. All right. So yeah, let's get that. So this is the word for it. Now, for some reason on the Google can't really play the audio, but it said it's craspidon, kind of something like that. But anyways, it says the extremity or prominent thing. It's like a part of a thing, edge, skirt, margin. The fringe of a garment. In the New Testament, a little appendage hanging down from the edge of the mantle or cloak made of twisted wool. It says a tassel tuft. The Jews had such appendages attached to their mantles to remind them of the law. Now, what would that be? Numbers 15 and 38, right? The laws of the Most High, the fringes, man. All right. Yahawashah had fringes. This is a fringe or a tassel, border or a hem. Right? You can't get around this, man. You literally can't get around that, man. All right. So Yahawashah wore fringes, and just to nail it in the coffin. Hey, let's get the famous precept, Numbers 15:38.
It's Numbers 15 and verse 38, and it reads, so I can 15 and 38. Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which ye use go a horn.
Yeah, Khan, exactly. And remember all the commandments of the Lord. So exactly, hey, we read this precept then there every camp, because we're some brothers teaching about the fringes. So it's a reminder to keep the law. And as that definition said, right, the Jews had such appendages, meaning something that hangs from like a border or something like that. That's what an appendage is. It says attached to their mantles to remind them of the law. So that's none other but Numbers 15:38. All right. But brothers got it.
And it's crazy how brothers will say that our Lord didn't keep the law when he gave the law. He literally gave it to Moses. We know this. Going through the precepts, we know Yahawashi is the one that actually gave the law to Moses. So you saying that, it's kind of like a brother giving something. It's like Yasha giving me something that he don't even do. But the brother already had it. Brother, but you do it. That don't make sense. Right? And I'm gonna bring the precept up, right? This is Acts chapter 7 and verse 36. It reads, he brought them out after he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness 40 years. This is that Moses which said unto the children of Israel, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up unto you of your brethren, like unto me. Him shall ye hear. Who is that? That's talking about Yahawashi, Christ. This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel and spake to him in the Mount Sinai and with our fathers who received the lively oracles to give unto us. So this prophet, which is Yahawashi, we know, was the one that gave the laws to Moses to keep and tell Israel to keep. So that would be, highly weird and what's the word? trying to think of unorganized of a brother telling you to do something that he not doing. Right? That would literally call YAHAWASHI a hypocrite.
Yeah.
To tell you to do something that he's not going to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's just plain, right? Let me get St. John chapter 10 and verse 22. Since we just came off the dedication, man. Yahushua was keeping the feast of dedication, which is a law, or a feast day that we keep as Israelites. This is St. John chapter 10 and verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. And Yahushua walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Right? So we know Yahushua was keeping the feast. He kept the laws, kept all the feast days. He didn't keep Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, all the other folliness. He didn't keep those. He kept the law, which upholds like the brother brought out, fringes, right? The feast days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not in pork, all things that the Most High said not to do in the law.
Mm-hmm.
King.
Khan, exactly, man. Exactly. We see him, keeping feast of dedication. Did not Yahushua keep the Passover? Right. So I mean, he kept the Passover. John talks about how it was the Feast of Tabernacles. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you still have the writers acknowledging the fact that Yahushua kept the Passover, these various feasts. You know what I'm saying? Even feast of dedication. So how is Yahushua not keeping the law? And also, let's get this one as well, right? Let's get this one as well. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. I gotta pull it up to the spirit, right? See which one I want. Yeah, let's go to the book of Mark, or no, so like in Matthew 8 verse 4. Right, let's get this one too. All right, Matthew chapter 8 verse 4. All right, so this one, Yahushua cleansed the leper. All right.
This is St. Matthew chapter 8 and verse 4, and it reads, and Yahushua said unto him, see thou tell men, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. And when Yahushua was entering into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him.
God, that's
okay.
Yeah, that's it on that. Yeah, that's why I don't want it, because it says, see thou tell no man, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. So Yahushua literally told this leper to hey, go show yourself to the priest, and go keep the Levitical law. That's what he's saying. Go keep the Levitical law, man. Show yourself before the priest, offer the gift that Moses commanded, right? And when you go into other translations, like for example, NOT, for example, says what? Then Yahweh said to him, don't tell anyone about this. Instead, go to the priest and let him examine you. Take along the offering required in the law of Moses for those who have been healed of leprosy. This will be a public testimony that you have been cleansed. Because Yahweh did cleanse him, but he still say, nah, still keep the law. Still keep that custom, that it's like a Levitical law for the lepers, written in Leviticus chapter 14.
Okay. I was just going to bring it out too.
Oh yeah, Con, you got it.
Leviticus 14 and verse 3. Just get to that verse 2 and start verse 2.
Yeah.
This shall be the law of leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in the earthen vessel over running water.
Yeah, Con, exactly. Yeah, so it goes, Leviticus 14 goes all into that. How the priests, what I'm saying, will essentially get these sacrifices to cleanse the leper. But we see in the New Testament, even after Yahushua had cleansed this man, he said, yeah, okay, do it for a testimony unto them, to show them that you've been cleansed the proper way, right? But if Yahushua didn't keep the law, why would he be telling him to do that? would just be like, no, don't do that. Who cares about the damn priest? Who cares about these damn priests, man? Right? And the law of liberty, you know, middle finger up to the priest, man. Law of liberty. That's what he say to him. Why did he say go to the priest and stick the middle finger up and say to hell with your priest and to hell with your law? No, he said, hey, look, he respected Moses. He said, show yourself to the priest, offer the offering that Moses commanded. If he didn't respect Moses, he'd be like, nah, who gives a damn about Moses, man? Who gives a damn about what Moses said, what Moses commanded? You know, so yeah, so that wouldn't make any sense if if because again in the video too, he does say, oh, y'all Moses disciples, right? Y'all following Moses, right? Brothers are saying that, man. Well, what did YAHAWASHI say about Moses? I mean, he said a lot of things about Moses. Let's get I know the brother kind of posted in the chat too. Let's get Matthew 23 and verse 2, right?
Matthew chapter 23, verse 2, and it reads, For they bind heavy burdens and grievous. This you want 2?
Yeah, verse 2.
This is the same Matthew 23 and 2. This saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not.
Yep, and exactly. And when he was breaking this down in verse 2, I think he did actually pull this precept. He did actually pull this precept later in the video. I didn't get the timestamp for it. Yeah, the brother, remember? He did pull his video. I mean, it's like this precept in the video. All right, and he said, and he broke verse 2 down to say, it says the scribes and the Pharisees said Moses' seat. He said, whoever, right, is keeping the law is in Moses' seat, or is a scribe or a Pharisee. That's not what it's saying at all, man. That's not what it's saying. The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, meaning, well, Moses, what was his seat? What was his occupation? What was his job? Moses was there to enforce the law. Moses was there to enforce the law, to keep the nation of Israel in order, in check, according to the laws of the Most High. That was his job. But he broke that down to say, oh, well, whoever's keep the law is a Pharisee. That's not what it's saying at all. All right. So in verse 3, he's saying, all therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. So by them saying keep the Sabbath, do that. By them saying don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, don't commit adultery, do those things. Whatsoever they bid you observe and do. But do ye not after their works, for they say and do not. Why? Because some of them were hypocrites, right? Some of them are hypocrites, because in verse 4, it even says what? For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves do not move them with one of the fingers. So, for example, what? There would you have a concept called the Sabbath day's journey. What the heck is a Sabbath day's journey? That's not in the law. It's not in the Deuteronomy. It's not in Leviticus, Exodus. But they'll say you can only walk a certain a distance a day on the Sabbath. If you walk over that distance, you're breaking the Sabbath. So that's a heavy burden and grievous to be borne, and they laid that upon men's shoulders, but they themselves wouldn't even keep that custom or that ordinance. They wouldn't keep that. Right? Because some of them were actually hypocrites. Even in Galatians, right? Let's get Galatians chapter 6 real quick, right? Hey, Paul was a Pharisee. He knew how the Pharisees moved. And this is not all Pharisees, right? But this is how some of the Pharisees moved. They wouldn't even keep the whole entirety of the law. They would be hypocrites, man. That's why YAHAWASHI was saying what he was saying in Matthew 23. That whole chapter, he goes into how the Pharisees, the scribes, and the Pharisees were hypocrites at point, at times. Wait, let's get Galatians chapter 6 and verse number 12. Right?
This Galatians chapter 6, verse 12. As many as desire to make a fair shew in the flesh, they constrain you to be circumcised, only lest they should suffer persecution for the cross of Mashiach. Either they themselves who are circumcised keep the law, but desire to have you circumcised, that they may glory in your flesh.
You see that? And these are some of the maybe some of the Pharisees and scribes, man. You know, the circumcised that already knew that they were Jews, you know, and whatnot. It says they who are circumcised, not that they who are circumcised keep the law. So some of them didn't even keep the whole entirety of the law, man. Trying to have you do certain things, but they're not doing it. Therefore, being hypocrites. But this brother's trying to make Yahawashi a hypocrite, man. All right. You're trying to make Yahawashi a hypocrite. You know, but nevertheless, so that's what the context is, man. That's why Yahawashi said that. But if he said, "All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do," that means whatever they command you, do that. And they're commanding you to what? Keep the law. All right. They're commanding you to keep the law. That's why he said they sit in Moses' seat. Right. Yeah, the point of that.
I got St. John chapter 8 and verse. I'm starting at verse 10. You know, like the brother is saying, like all through the gospel, like he's saying, all through the gospels, he said our law, your. He never said ours. But all through the gospels, he telling people to keep the commandments. He telling them to keep the commandments. The same way you saying he said yours, your commandment, your law, your law. He's telling everybody to keep the commandments.
Yep.
And like the brother said, digging up Moses as well. Yep. Right? This is St. John chapter 8 in verse 10. It says, when Yahawashi had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, Woman, where are those thine accusers? Have no man condemned thee? And he said, hey, where's your accusers at, man? Hey, because Yahawashi know, like the brother was like Yashada said earlier in the video, where's your 2 or 3 more witnesses at? So that's the law. Where's the people that is condemning you? Bring them to the forefront, because that's a part of the law. Yahawashi is literally talking about the law here. Where is they at? Right. This is verse 11. She said, no man, Lord. And Yahawashi said unto her, neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. And he said, hey, go sin no more. Right. So all the things that the brothers are saying, the brothers saying, and Yahawashi said, don't sin no more.
Yeah.
We can only find we can find the law all through the scriptures, of course, not negating Baruch chapter 4. The whole book is the law of the Lord, right? But mainly you can get the details and the things, what we're supposed to keep all in the first 5 books, right? So first Yahawashi say, where's the witnesses at? Hey, that's in the law. And he said, hey, neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more. Telling her, hey, don't sin. Don't do the things that you was doing.
Yep.
Right. So, the brother guy explained these things, man. So, and he's saying too that Yahawashi was a sinner as well. Saying that Yahawashi didn't keep the law of Moses. That means he was a sinner as well, which we know that's not, right? Based off, let me bring it out. This is 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 22. All right, I'm going to start at 21. It says, for even hereunto where ye called, because Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye shall follow his steps. Why should we follow his steps, man? If everybody lives in the so-called life of sin and we convert ourselves to following to the Lord Christ, isn't he that perfect example that we should be following? Why would we follow an impure person? What type of sense is that? You following after a dude that sell crack, so you're gonna go follow him and you're gonna do crack too? That don't make sense. You gotta use logic, man. Like you're saying, hey, this is all love. At the end of the day, you gotta make it make sense. If he's the perfect example to follow his steps, that means he's the perfect person to follow, because he ain't in the wickedness that we endure, right? It says what? Verse 22, who did no sin. neither was guile found in his mouth. So, I think later on in the video, the brother was talking about why did he break the Sabbath?
Yeah.
That's if and we know he didn't break the Sabbath because that's in the law. If he did no sin, that means he didn't break the Sabbath as well. I know we're gonna end up going there, but you gotta make it make sense, brother. Use logic when you say certain things. You gotta make it make sense. The Bible is plain to them that understand it, plain to them that read it.
Yep.
Right. You got it, King.
God. Yeah, you got to make it make sense, man. You can't just be saying whatever, right? Yeah, I got 2 other precepts on what the brother was saying. Well, let's go to let's go to Hebrews 4 then, right? Let's go to Hebrews 4. All right. Hey, this is going to come out. All right, what is it? 20. Oh, it's lucky. 16. Oh, it's lucky. 15, right? Hebrews 4 and 15.
This is Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 14. 15, so lucky. And it reads, "For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we were, yet without sin."
Hey, yet without sin. That's YAHAWASHI. In all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin, man. Right? Well, who is that talking about? Yeah, YAHAWASHI. So, and again, 1 John 3 and 4. Sin is a transgression of what? The law. So if we're saying that YAHAWASHI broke the Sabbath, if we're saying YAHAWASHI didn't keep the law of Moses, but he kept the law of liberty, where does it say he kept the law of liberty? We proved that YAHAWASHI wore fringes. We proved that already. We proved that YAHAWASHI said out of his own mouth, I have kept my father's commandments. He didn't say I kept the law of liberty. He told the leper to go do what Moses commanded. Hey, the brother Sirach brought out John chapter 8 with the woman, with the adulterous woman. He just said, hey, you got the law of liberty. No, he said he just forgave her because YAHAWASHI has the power to forgive sins upon earth. So again, and he was tempted in all points like as we are. So he probably dealt with the spirit. He was dealing with spirits, battling demons, but he didn't go off. He didn't sin. So it's just plain, man. Let's go to 2 Corinthians, right? And I see the brother Khan posting mighty precepts in the chat as well, man. Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, the brother, mighty brother McQuas, man. Okay, all praise. Another fellow scribe, man, through the spirit. God. Right. So let's get 2 Corinthians. Let's get 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Right. And let's go to that verse. What is it? 21. Let's go 21.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 21. And it reads thus: "For he have made him to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him."
So Peter disagrees with this man, right? Peter disagrees with you. Hey, Paul disagrees with you. You run into Paul. Most of the precepts that he pulls he's going to Paul. So like you said, what?
I said a Pharisee.
A Pharisee, exactly. He was a Pharisee. It's like you talking about, yeah, you damn Pharisees, you following Paul, right? It's like you following Moses, right? We YAHAWASHI disciple, you Moses disciple, right? Hey, guess what? Paul was a Pharisee, so now you quoting a Pharisee trying to go against the Pharisees. So hold on, now that's kind of orthodox. That's kind of a contradiction right there, man. That's kind of problematic. So yeah, right? You don't see us going around calling people Pharisees, right? Because again, it's not just but again, 2 Corinthians 5 and 21, it says, "For ye have made him law to be Salakia, for he had made him to be sin for us who knew no sin." That how plain do you have to be? How much more plainer do you have to be? Who knew no sin. So if you didn't know no sin, that means that he kept the law. That's what that means. He was sinless, right? He was perfect. Let's get another one from Peter. Let's go to 1 Peter 1:19. All right.
It's First Peter chapter 1 and verse 19, and it reads thus: "But with the precious blood of Christ, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot."
Yeah, Khan, exactly. So the blood of Christ as a lamb without blemish and without spot, man. So again, if anyone that has studied the law, when you go to sacrifice an offering unto the Lord, it can't have no blemishes and spots in it. Yeah, the Lord's not going to accept that. This you're offering the lame, the damn sick onto the Lord. Let's get that in the book of Malachi, right? Malachi chapter 1, right? You can't offer any corrupt thing onto the Lord. He's not going to offer. He's not going to accept that. All right.
Yeah.
So that's why YAHAWASHI, because a blemish in a spot would be what? Right. So like, hold on. Before we get that, I'm gonna get this one precept before we go into Malachi. Right. Let's go to James 1 and verse number 27. Right. I'm gonna read it. It says, "Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world." So unspotted meaning when you got those spots in your garment, those it's a Cheeto stain, it's a ketchup stain, it's a mustard stain, right? When you have these stains in your garment, that's talking about what? Sin, essentially. Sin, unclean spirits being upon you, faults, right? Things holding you back, things spotting you from the world. So we're trying to keep ourselves unspotted from the world. We're trying to keep ourselves separate, clean in this world. All right. So when you go into what? So like you go into that in First Peter, right? A lamb without blemish and without spot, meaning a lamb that's perfect, right? Without any sin, without any guile, as a brother brought out. You understand? Because it was prophesied already in Isaiah 53 that he will be without deceit and guile. Okay. And that's another thing too. If you was a hypocrite and saying hypocritical things, that would contradict Isaiah, that would contradict First Peter, because we have many witnesses saying that Yahushua did not use guile, neither did he use deceit. So if a brother is using guile, I mean, it's like if a brother is a hypocrite, he'll be using what? Guile, some type of form of deceit in his mouth, right? Corrupt communication. But it says, as of a lamb without blemish and without spot. So Yahushua was sinless. Let's get that in Malachi chapter 1, and we can get to the point. Matthew chapter 1 and verse 8, right?
This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 8, and it reads, "And if ye offer the blind for sacrifice, is it not evil? And if ye offer the lame and sick, is it not evil? Offer it now unto the governor. Will he be pleased with thee, or to set thy person in the Lord of hosts?"
Khan, exactly. If you offer the blind for sacrifice, that's evil, because these are spots and blemishes in the lamb. So that's why Yahushua had to be without sin in order for him to be that ultimate sacrifice for us, right? He had to be. All right. There's no way that he committed sin. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Or else he just would not be that good sacrifice unto us, right? Or that ultimate sacrifice, like you. All right. One more precept on that, Deuteronomy 17 and verse 1. Right. Let's get Deuteronomy 17 and verse 1. Yeah, you got it.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 17 and verse 1, and it reads, "Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish, or any evil favoredness, for that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God."
Exactly. So it goes back into the law. Now, even Yahweh Shah being a sacrifice for us, that's him keeping the law too. As the brother even brought out Deuteronomy 18 verse 18. He was keeping the law by being down here upon us, doing what he got to do. That's him even keeping the law and the commandments, right? Because he had to fulfill those things. He had to fulfill the prophecies, and him not sinning. That's also keeping the law too, because he was a sacrifice for us. So, brother, you can't say that he didn't keep the law at all. You can't say that, right? It says, "Thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep and he's a sheep on a spiritual level, wherein it's blemish or any evil favoredness, but that is an abomination unto the Lord thy God. So, brother, by you saying that Yahawashi committed sin, or that he didn't keep the law, or that he kept the law of liberty, which, I mean, he wore fringes, so I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. A brother said he wasn't even wearing fringes, right? In the video. I don't know if he wore fringes or not, but in the video, he wasn't wearing fringes, right? So I don't know. So, you know, again, it's just madness. You had another precept on that up?
I got one more precept.
You got it.
This is Hebrews, right? Chapter 9, verse 14. It reads, how much more shall the blood of a Mashiach, who through the eternal spirit offer himself without spot to Yahweh, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living Yahweh. You know, so like the brothers, you know, well, I ain't gonna say brothers, but you know, the precepts are saying, man, is literally saying he was that perfect sacrifice without spot, man, to be offered up to the Most High. So, like the brother pulled out, hey, that's the law in Deuteronomy. You can't have nothing a lame or with blemishes to try to sacrifice to the Most High, right? Or that sacrifice is not going to be a taken, right? And so that means, if he's saying that means that Yahawashi basically died for nothing. That's literally what he's saying. So it's a lot of things that he's saying that he don't know that he's saying through the Spirit. It's a lot, like it's a lot of with the, you know, caveats, you know, a lot of words, man. So if this, you know, it's hella points that you be like, wait, if you're saying this, then this ain't possible. That means the sacrifice didn't work. And so how can we be adopted back into the fold?
Damn.
Now think of that. If that was a blemish sacrifice, that means the sacrifice did not work. But if he did, that means we was able to get adopted back into the fold, which is the whole deal of the testator, which Yahawashi was. Right? And I'm gonna keep reading it. And as she says it, right? It says, and for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the New First Testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. And that's plain. That's the whole reason of him being that spot. I mean, that sacrifice without spot to the Most High, so we could be adopted back into the Most High fold, and all the things that are the transgressions that we did do, we could be forgiven for. That's the whole premise of why Yahawashi died, and so we could be back into the fold. And what you saying, then, you know, gotta think about it, brother.
Yeah.
About it. But
it's a domino effect. You know? Dominoes, man. Dominoes, not the pizza.
Butterfly effect, man.
Yeah, butterfly effect, exactly. Right. You know, if I say dominoes, man, hey, bros might be thinking about the pizza, man. You know, not the pizza, man. All right. Hey, dominoes like the game, man. Right. You kind of set the dominoes up and you knock over one, that's gonna knock over all of them. Right. So that's what's happening to this man's doctrine. If you say, as your brother say, you say the law, or it's like Yahawashi didn't keep the law, then what about all these other precepts? Right? Now you just knocking all these other precepts down. They don't exist, right? Or you trying to reconcile them by saying, oh yeah, well, he kept the law of liberty. Nowhere does it say that, man. And also, you don't even know what the law of liberty is, right? So again, you know, it's crazy. But I'm gonna keep playing the video real quick.
Royal House.
Oh, already played that.
Destroy, but to fulfill.
Oh, Slaki, hold on.
nations. That's the 12 tribes, all right? And then shall the end come. Let's go down to verse 17. It's for you Pharisees. Because I'm just getting video after video, people sending me left and right. Okay? He says, think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, fulfill. Right? For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law. Then there's a comma, till all be fulfilled. All right. Yeah. I know that y'all think that YAHAWASHI is talking about he came to fulfill the law of Moses. He did. He says, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. The law and the prophets are Moses' law, right? Because the prophets were under Moses' law. He said, I am not come to destroy. I'm not here to destroy any of that. He said, I came to fulfill. To fulfill what? The law of liberty. Y'all never talk about that. Why is that, Naquan? Why you never talk about the law of liberty? What is the law of liberty? Is it the law of Moses? Can you answer that? Those are two different laws. All right? You ain't got to get upset.
Hold on. You gotta prove that. Because in this video, again, me and Cyrac watched the video, the whole thing, right? He never explains precept upon precept what the law of liberty is. He doesn't do it, right? Did you hear him do that? I could be mistaken. I don't know.
I ain't seen no precept. He spoke his own out of his own belly.
Yeah,
That's what he did do. He tried to make it try to make it sound good. That's what he did do.
Yep. Yeah, and as you can see, it's like you're not even trying to, like, again, he's saying he didn't fulfill the law of Moses. Hold on. So let's go to that precept, right? Let's go to Matthew 5:17, right?
Right here. This is Matthew 5, verse 17. Right. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
So it says, don't think that I'm come to destroy the law of the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Okay, so again, so he admitted that the law or the prophets in this verse is talking about the law of Moses. Okay, so what he means by that is essentially like the old law, whatever, like, the laws of Moses. Yeah, with the pork and everything like that. Because again, hey, thou shalt not kill, that's in the law of Moses. So, what Sabbath day, all these other stuff, that's in the law of Moses too. So you can't just, but we know what he means by that, right? We know what he means. He's trying to make a separation between, like, all these other Christians do. They try to, when they say the law is done away with, they're not really talking about the whole law. They're talking about the laws that they want done away with. They're going to keep some. Like, for example, because again, the second question to be, if the law is done away with, or we're not dealing with the same laws, he's saying the law of liberty and the law of Moses, those are two different laws. Okay, so the law of liberty means that we can eat pork. So what other laws are not applicable anymore, right? What other laws are not applicable? You didn't even explain that. You didn't explain how certain laws are applicable and certain laws are not. Because I know you don't believe that we can kill people, or it's like you're not kill a murder. I know you don't believe that. I know you don't believe the fact that, or it's like we can't commit adultery, right? I know you probably say, oh, well, you got to keep that law. Well, hold on now. Now you're making a separation between the two. Now you're picking and choosing. The law is the law, all right? But nevertheless, it says what? I'm not come to destroy, but to fulfill. So it says, I am not come to destroy. What destroy what? He's not come to destroy what? That law that he's talking about. Hold on, let me show it on the screen, right? Let me show it on the screen. Oh, damn it. What the hell? Matthew 5:17, right? It says, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. This law is talking about the law of Moses. Okay, let's keep going. I am not come to destroy what? The law of Moses. Okay, but to fulfill what? Now it's the law of liberty? Doesn't make any sense. But to fulfill that law that he was talking about.
Right. And fulfill what the prophet said about him as well.
Exactly.
It's plain.
It's plain, man. Right? It's plain. Hey, NIV, do not think that I have come to abolish the law of the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. So this brother doesn't even understand just simple like reading comprehension.
Go read the NLT.
NOT, man. It says, don't misunderstand why I've come. Damn. Right? See that? I did not come to abolish the law of Moses. Hey, hold on. You gotta come on. You just gotta give it up, Bach.
Yeah.
Just gotta give it up. Right? They saying I ain't reading that nasty NOT. All right. Oh well, it's fine. It's fine. It says, I did not come to abolish the law of Moses or the writings of the prophets. No. He said, I came not. I came to accomplish their purpose, man. Right? And yeah, that's we would kind of rather deal with the other translations, but because it's not as plain as it is in the other, but came to accomplish their purpose. Yeah, fulfilling their purpose, man, fulfilling what they wrote about Yahawashi. Okay, so again, if he's saying that this is fulfilling what the law of liberty, that's not what it's saying, man. The context is the law of Moses. You just said that. All right. So you can't just change the context. All right. If that makes sense. In verse 18, he read verse 18 and he didn't even break that down. He didn't even break down verse 18. You just read it. Why don't you read verse 18? Why don't you read all the way to verse 20?
Right. Why you stop it?
Man, it's crazy.
Why did you stop?
Why did you stop? Man, that's crazy, right? Verse 18 too. Verse 18 just cuts the whole thing you saying. To heaven and earth pass, meaning what? The kingdom of heaven. Let's get that. When is heaven and earth going to pass? Revelation 21, right? Revelation 21:1. Right, this one it's going to pass. You got it.
Revelation 21:1, right?
Yeah, God.
This is, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
God, exactly right. So a new heaven and a new earth. So in basically this is the eschaton, right? Eschatology. So end time precepts going into the kingdom of heaven. So in the kingdom of heaven, that's when the new heaven and new earth is going to be the new rulership. So Yahawashi said, until heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle, right, shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled, man. And this law is the same law that he's talking about in verse 17. It's the same law, right? The same law, man. All right, because the law of liberty hasn't been brought to you yet. The law of liberty came after Yahawashi's death. There's no law of liberty during this time, man.
Right.
Because it's like you said, what?
I said that point.
Yeah, because the law of liberty comes with the sacrifice of Yahawashi, right? And let's get a precept on that real quick. Galatians, right? 5 and verse 1. This is going to be a cut right here. It's going to take it home. It's going to take it home right here, man. Right.
It's Galatians chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ had made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of the bondage.
Exactly, man. Christ had made us free through what? Through his death, through his sacrifice. Now we're under grace. Now we're not justified by the works of the law. Right? What does that mean? Does it mean that you don't keep the law? No. It just means that we're not justified off of that alone. We're justified also by the faith and grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushua. Right? That's what that means. You know, so again, with Yahawashi's sacrifice came the law of liberty. But before that, there was no law of liberty. So the only law that he's talking about there is what? The law of Moses. Come on now. Hey, even advanced Christians will agree with that, man. Advanced Christians. All right. You know, so-called advanced Christians. But also another precept, it's like James 1. Now I know you got precepts too, but let's get this real quick. James chapter 1 and verse 25 as well. Right.
This is James chapter 1, verse 25, and it reads, "But whoso looketh into perfect law of liberty and continue therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed."
Exactly. So the perfect law of liberty that comes with Yahawashah. It continues therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work. And what work is this? Right? Because he's talking about the law of liberty. He's saying, why don't y'all WFI, why don't y'all talk about that? Y'all don't never talk about that. Yeah, we do talk about it. You know, it says, but what is, you got to answer, what is the doer of the work? What does that mean? All right. This man shall be blessed in his deed. What is a deed? It says what? An action. Ooh, dang. So he's gonna be judged off his actions. He's a doer of the work of the Lord. And what's the work of the Lord? Keeping the commandments. All right. That's the work of the Lord. Keeping the law, keeping the commandments. So again, you know, it's not making any sense, man. And the law of liberty again is being justified not solely off the works of the law alone, but by the faith in Hamashiach Yahawashah and the grace, pursuant to the book of Galatians chapter 2 and verses 15 on down, or 14 on down. All right. So that's what that's going into. It's not saying that you don't keep the law anymore. Right. That's not what that's saying. That's not what that's saying. James chapter 2 cuts that. You gotta have works, faith and works. All right. You know, but Khan, you got it, King.
Okay, well, ain't much brothers, you know, like I said, brothers stopped. Hey, halted, man. At 17, man. Yeah, he stopped at what? Matthew 5 and 17. And
Yeah,
that's
he
where
stopped at verse 18. And you just wrote that.
Yeah, 18.
Yeah.
He stopped there. It was a stop sign right there and said stop. And he didn't want to read 19. I don't know why. Because it's plain as day, man. Because he's literally, I'm gonna read it. This is 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. He's literally doing the opposite of what the red letters say. He's literally eating swine's flesh, and then on top of that, telling people that they could eat swine flesh. And not only swine's flesh, hey, he went on and said crab, shrimp, and lobster. That's why we eat it. Right? So he's justifying and saying that people could eat those things, and not wear fringes. I don't know if the brother do, but I didn't see fringes in the lessons, the turkey day, or I don't know if he was wearing fringes. Can't see, but he wasn't wearing fringes in that video either. But he's teaching men not to keep the commandments at all. The least commandment, pork. I don't know what people rank pork at, man. I don't know if it's in the middle, a big commandment. I don't know, but it's there, right? He says, so he shall call be least in the kingdom of heaven, but whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. And that's what the brothers was doing, man. The brothers was literally telling brothers and sisters, children, not to listen to this brother, because what? He's leading you to destruction. He's leading you to be at least in the kingdom, man. All right, let me get that real quick. Because people think that if people think that was wrong, what the brothers did, you got to check your spirit, man. At the end of the day, it's all part of the law. You know,
Yep.
all part of the law, man. We got to keep that, man. We see, and that's ultimately love, man. It was ultimately love that the brothers made the video. Any brothers that made the videos, any brothers that seen it and spoke about it in righteousness and sincerity, you know, that's what they were supposed to do, right? This Leviticus chapter 19 in verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a terrible. Now, this verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. So the brothers, you know, we judge them based on the righteousness, man. And we all know what righteousness, man. Based on a Psalms 119, 142, Psalms 119, 152. Hey, the righteousness is the law, man. Right? So brothers is going off the law to show, hey, brother, you going off, man. Teaching those things that you ought not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Lord willing, you know, the brother, hey, repent, come out of that. But you know, he seems like that stubborn brother. So, you know, Lord willing, hey, the veil will come off the spirit, you know, off the brother, and stop conflating things. Because he was even going to Romans, man. Just butchering Romans, man.
Man,
Just butchering it.
butchering it. Okay. Romans 14. Con, we're going to go into that too. Con, you know,
You got it.
yeah, con. I'm keep playing it through the spirit.
I mean, this brother's so mad. He talking about if he was at my house, okay, yeah, the police would have been called out. It would have been food all over the place, broken glass. No. Only thing you would have got at my house if you cut up like that is a hospital bill or a casket. That's all. That's all you would have got. A critical beat down. Let's stop it right there. Right. You're not gonna put hands on me because I don't do what you want me to do.
Wait, so is it us or is it the Lord? Right? Is it us or is it the Bible, man? Right? Man, come on, brother. You think? I mean, you're saying it like brothers are just pulling it out of their butt, man. Right? Just keep it 100, man. You're acting like we're just making this up. Brothers are bringing out precepts. So is it us or is it the Lord? You know, or is it Moses? I was like, right?
Right.
But
he wouldn't say that to Nehemiah, man. And he wouldn't say that to Mattathias, man.
Law.
And Mattathias literally killed the man for not keeping the law, man.
Yep.
Literally killed the man.
Yep.
Threw the javelin through him, man. Right? Yep. I'm gonna get that, man. So what is he talking about? If the brother say he's gonna cut up at your house, man, he's gonna cut up at your house through the spirit of to the Most High, man.
God.
What more you could do, man? That's this is First Maccabees chapter 2 in verse 23. It says, "Now we had less speaking these words. They came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Molden, according to the king's commandment." Hey, so you read First Maccabees. Hey, they was man. Hey, he was going off, man. They was going off, man. Trying to alter a swine's flesh on the altar and do all abominable things, man. Right? It says 24, which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show himself according to the judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Hey man, he ran up there and slew him, man. Hey, put him to death, man. Put him to flight, man. All because the dude wanted a sacrifice, a foulness unto the altar, man, and want to do whatever the king wanted, and the king officers wanted to do. So now the brothers is off for having that zeal because we see a foolishness because you want to sacrifice unto these gods and being conformed and being right on schedule with things killing. You right on schedule with things killing. You're not a week early, you're not a week late. And you right on schedule, man. You said what? The last Thursday of what is it? November, we getting together. We know it's premeditated, man. You dip the pork and a 3-day Coca-Cola infusion. So it was premeditated, man. Premeditated. So we know, how it was, man. So even thinking that, man, the brother was, it was upsetting, man. It was upsetting, man. It was a sadness. It was crazy. It was madness, man. And like the brother said, if he was there, it wouldn't be no turkey and all 4 different kinds of abominations there. The war of fame. You said what happened?
I say, yeah, not at all. Wouldn't be any of that.
The war of fame, the world famous would be on the floor, stumped out. It's madness, man. How you gonna be mad at the brother? For showing zeal to the Most High.
Exactly.
You got it, King.
Yep.
Y'all get down about Baltimore. You better know how we get down for South Central too. We will whoop your motherfucking ass. Don't bring that shit down here. All right? I don't take threats lightly. All right? So whatever you got planned, keep it out there. All right?
That's really.
And you niggas, y'all think because y'all don't eat pork and you got some French fries around your waist that you have the authority to try to.
He's calling the royal dress code of the Most High God of Yahweh. He's calling them French fries, right? Come on, calling them French fries, man. Hey, that's a new one. I never heard that, bro.
Yeah,
I never heard that.
Yeah,
hey, people in the world,
he
like
clever.
You said what?
I said he's clever.
Yeah, he's clever, man. Hey, I didn't want to say it, but it's like, brother, you just thinking about food. Brother, just thinking about food. That's what's in his mind, man. It's food, man. Right? Brother talking about, hey, y'all got some French fries around your garment. Brother, come on now. Brother, just think, first of all, you thinking about food and you just meditating upon it. French fries, right? And second of all, that's a new one. I never heard that. Hey, I don't expect that from a brother calling upon the name YAHAWASHI. I expect that from somebody in the world. Hey, people in the world say, oh, you got that carpet around you. You got that damn skirt on, something like that. Hey, we heard a lot of things. People try to, what's those ropes around your waist? But French fries? Come on, man, that is just madness. Like that's just madness. Foolish, right?
Man.
For somebody
it's like
to do what you want them to do. That is Pharisee all the way. I'm just gonna talk from the heart. All right.
That you talking from the heart.
So you said what?
I said, see that he talking from the heart now. Huh?
Yeah. This is exactly what I said when I was watching this video. I said, what? The brother said he's gonna speak from his heart. What precept is that?
Man.
So again, hey, what does Jeremiah say? Jeremiah 17, man. Right? Jeremiah 17. Right. And verse number 9. Right? What does it say, man? This is a rudimentary precept.
Jeremiah 17 and verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?
The heart is desperately, right? It's like it. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Right? It's deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. It's crazy, man. Desperately wicked. You see that? So it's crazy. It's crazy. So you can, brother say he's speaking from the heart.
Yahawashai said he didn't come to destroy the law of the prophets. He didn't come to pay any attention to the law of Moses at all. None. Zero.
But I mean, we disproved that though through the multitude of precepts.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Because you got Moses' disciples, which are y'all, and then Yahawashai has his own disciples, which is us. This is why we can eat what we want. This is why
when did Moses ever have disciples? I just want to know. He had 12. Well, he had 1, 2. Caleb, he talking about Caleb. He gotta be Caleb, right? Joshua. He got to, man.
Talking about Joshua.
Talking about Joshua, Caleb.
Yeah.
None.
The sons of Nun.
Like, when did Moses ever have disciples? Yeah. Let us know, man.
It's crazy.
I don't see that nowhere at all. I ain't see that. I don't see that when Moses was living and then after Moses lived. I have not seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Moses' disciples.
Yeah. He must be talking about the Pharisees. Again, trying to call us Pharisees in another name. Moses' disciples, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, God. But the thing is, what the thing is he's saying y'all are Moses' disciples and Yahawashi's disciples. Again, Yahawashai, we show up the precepts. Yahawashai, he never spoke ill of Moses, right? He said, if you know Moses, you will know of me, for he wrote of me, right? Hey, Yahawashai said that. Hey, yeah, Moses, he wrote of me, man, right? Hey, again, with with the leper in Matthew 8 and verse 4, he said, go do what Moses commanded you, right? Show yourself to the priest, do what Moses commanded you. So again, he never spoke ill of Moses at all. You're talking about like you're talking like, well, I follow Yahushua, right? Well, Yahushua, he followed Moses. If you want to get technical, he did follow Moses because he was following the laws that Moses prescribed unto Israel, right? So again, so yeah, it just doesn't make any sense, man. Right?
That Yahushua gave to Moses. It's just
yeah, exactly.
Yahushua gave Moses the law. He followed the law all the way up to, and then he said, hey, I'm gonna follow when I come back down to earth.
Yeah, God.
It's plain, man. Amazing.
Plain.
So if you're saying Moses, brothers is disciples of Moses, you really saying we disciples of Yahushua still, because Moses is reiterating what Yahushua gave him in the first place.
Yep.
See that?
Yep. Exactly. It's crazy.
On us. This is why we can eat bacon, we can eat crab, we can eat all of that, because we are under the law of liberty. We are from above, you are from beneath.
Wait, what? Precept. Hold on. So he says we can eat crab, bacon. You see how he's only mentioning these things, right? You see how he's only mentioning the foods that he likes to eat? He's not mentioning bears. He's not mentioning, yeah, that's why we can eat vultures. That's why we can eat, caterpillars. He's not mentioning these things. What about the creeping things, man? The beetles. What about the, why don't you just go ahead and fry up some bugs like they do in the other countries, man? Just go ahead and fry you up some cockroaches, if that's the case. Why he's not saying that? You only saying pig. I only hear pig and these crustaceans. Like crabs and shrimp and stuff like that. That's all I'm hearing. So again, it's an agenda, man. It's an agenda. He's teaching these things because he wants to fulfill his lesson. He wants to reconcile that with the precepts. You know what I'm saying? That's what we see through the Spirit. All right. That's what we see through. You want to fulfill your lust, and you want the precepts to match up with your lust. And so again, we pray that we don't fall victim to these spirits, at all. But again, that's what you're doing. That's what the brother's doing. He's trying to make the precepts align with his own lust, right? So, that's why he keeps mentioning pig, crab, stuff like that.
Rodents. All right. Now, I'm hoping that you play this video. You're damn right. You said this is an old man. Yeah. And you're the second one to say this. You said, nobody's gave him this doctrine, man. Nobody's gave him this doctrine. This doctrine comes from the Most High himself.
Wow.
Right?
Chill.
You listening to Moses' law, right? And the Father said, listen to his son, YAHAWASHI. Through the Apostle Paul, Romans chapter 14, which is what you read, it cut your own head off. Let's go there. Let's go to Romans chapter 14.
Right. So you see how he makes points and then he doesn't really take it home. And then he makes another point. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not lining up. It's not in order. Right. And then he quotes John 8 and verse 28. You are from above. It's like I'm from above, you are from beneath. What does that have to do with anything? Right? What does that have to do with the topic at hand? Right? So it just, again, and then he goes to Romans 14. So, I said we're going to deal with it. So let's do deal with it. So I'm gonna play what his breakdown is on it, and then we're going to go into essentially what the correct understanding is.
Okay.
Verse 1. Him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. That's what you got. You got doubtful disputations. For one believeth he may eat all things. All things. Laquan. All things. Okay. Another who is weak eateth herbs. Now, all things is all meats. Don't come talking about, oh, well, they were just talking about clean meats. If that's the case, he would have said clean meats. All meats are clean. Does that mean I'm going to go out and barbecue a cat? No. Am I going to barbecue a lion? No. I mean, I can if I want to. Wouldn't recommend it. I'm not going to eat that. All right?
He said all meats are clean.
Right.
Where is that at? When did Yahweh ever said all meats are clean? When did that ever come into play, man? Let me get this precept real quick. That is crazy. When did that ever come into play, man? This is a Sirach chapter 36, verse 18. It says, the belly devour all meats, yet is one meat better than another. Hey, not all meats the same, brother. Yeah, you could eat whatever you think you could eat whatever you want. Of course, you have that spirit of we could eat whatever you want, but can you eat whatever you want? You can't if you follow the law, which is the most high already plainly stated. That's why we brought that up. Leviticus 19, the last verse. He made a difference between clean and unclean beasts. He never said all meats are clean. Never said that.
Never.
And we know he don't change. He changed not.
Yep.
So what is the brother talking about? Right? And brother make a eschatology, man. An eschatology precept. I think he mentioned this precept too. I'm like, why he go there?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Exactly.
That's
what I was saying too. Yeah, he did mention this precept. Obviously, he didn't break it down, but he did roughly paraphrase it. And I'm like, I was saying the same thing you were saying, Sirach. I was like, why did he go to here? Why did he go to this precept? But let's kind of read this precept because this is, as a brother said, looking into the eschaton. All right, and this is going into when Yahawashi is coming back. All right, so You know, let's read that.
This Isaiah chapter 66 in verse. We start at 17. It reads, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith Yahweh.
Exactly. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst. Now, what does that mean? Right? You're hiding yourself behind what? Doctrine, a philosophy, right? You're trying to sanctify yourself. It's not you got to kind of read that. It's not the Lord sanctifying you, it's you sanctifying yourself. You justifying yourself like this brother's doing. He's hiding behind one tree in the midst. He's hiding behind this precept, Romans 14. He's hiding behind the precept, Matthew 5. He's trying to hide behind these trees in the midst, eating swine's flesh, right? And the abomination, which is what? Crab, lobster, shrimp, all these abominable foods. And the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. What does that mean, consumed together? That means you guys are going to be destroyed, right? When the Lord comes back, let's you repent, man. Right? But yeah, and that's a good precept what the brother brought out as well in the book of Sirach. All right.
But as far as me eating a pig, you mean to tell me you never ate one growing up? Tell me I'm wrong.
Wait. See, it's like he's making like minuscule points. It's like that's not the point though, right? Brothers repented from that. The point is not, okay, have you ever ate pork? That's not the point. The point is, you know the truth, so you're still going to do it, right? The point is, you know these precepts, are you going to stop eating it or not? That's the point. Is it lawful or not? The point is not if we ate it back in the world. That's not the point, right? The Lord said in the times of this ignorance, God winked at. So the Lord winks, I guess, sin when you did it in the world and you came to the Lord and you repented. The Lord winks at that, all right? Because you didn't know. But come.
Stopped eating it when you came into this truth and you thought that there was something wrong with it. You grew up on that shit too. You a nigga just like me, all right? For one believeth, he may eat all things. Who is weak, he who is weak, he eateth herbs. Now look at verse 3. You talking about you was going to tear my house up, break up my shit. Look at verse 3. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not. And let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth. For power have received him. So if the power has received me, what right do you feel you have to break up somebody's shit? And I've seen you, Naquan. You ain't no bigger than my kneecap, man. I could put you in my pocket. All right. Don't do that. All right. You sound stupid. All right. It's always the littlest nigga talking about what he gonna do. I bet you got a big car too, huh? But you got a 1977 Brougham 4-door, some white walls on it, and you barely see over the steering wheel. All right. Look at verse 4. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth. Yea, he shall be holden up, for power is able to make him stand. Verse 5. You got on Thanksgiving, right? One man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. So, if I want to celebrate any day I want, including Thanksgiving, and I want to celebrate that to YAHAWASHI, who the fuck are you to tell me I can't do it? Who are you? Who? You ain't supposed to judge another man's servant. I don't serve you. If I want to dedicate that day to YAHAWASHI, I'm free to do that. Now,
all right, Khan. So let's break it down to the spirit. Let's break it down. Madness, man. All right. And again, we're not gonna play the whole thing. Let's be here all night. But if you wanted to, check it out for yourself, check it out, man. Check it out, right? Judge the matter for yourself through the Spirit, right? Judge the matter for yourself. But what's crazy is that you want to, look at this too, right? Look at this, man. Look, subscribed. We have been missing your videos, brother Matt. LOL, Miami. See that? You got people subscribing, man, for this, right? Hey, Shalom, King. Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Khan. Give it all praise, honor, glory to King. All glory to YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Hamashiach, YAHAWASHI. All praises to the Water Father for this pork, man. You see that? It's crazy, right? It's crazy. You got brothers in the comments saying, hey, good job, man. Right? All praises. These young men would never admit they were erring the scriptures, man. All praises. Pride and ego. He's saying that we're proud. Right?
He said their fate and what?
It's like he says,
their fate and
judgment will seem unfair to them. Crazy, man. Right? Love these beatdowns. All praise to the great mother. So you got brothers saying, what? I don't know what the hell that means. These Pharisees ain't about to do nothing but scoff. The Water Father, all praises, busting down these Pharisees once again. So you got a lot of brothers on here, man.
And saying the Water Father.
The Water Father, man.
What is going on?
Kwam Yashala, right? You got an actual righteous brother on here. Nowhere in the scripture can you find anyone that ate anything unclean. The Most High gave us a diet to live by. Deuteronomy, he pulls Deuteronomy 12 and 15, Deuteronomy 12 and 20. Madness. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Tell it like it is my brother that can't get it and don't want it. Keep on keeping on, right?
Tell it is my brother.
So, yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, but again, you got hella comment. Look at how many comments it is, man. Right? Crazy. So, yeah, let's get it, man. Right? So, it's like Romans 14, verse 1.
Right? It's Romans chapter 14, verse 1. And it reads thus: Him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to be doubtful of dispensation. For one,
you read verse 2 as well.
For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs.
So that's what that means. Him that is weak in the faith. Because one believes that he can eat all things. Now, obviously, Paul does not have to say all clean foods, because you did not have brothers going around saying you couldn't eat unclean food or you could eat unclean foods.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a common heresy back then. The Essenes, for example, you had this sect called the Essenes, which would say that they would refrain from certain things. That's why Paul said in First Timothy chapter 4, right? You have brothers saying forbidding to marry or to eat certain meats and stuff. You can't eat meat, right? It's sacrificed to idols. We can't eat that, so we just eat herbs. You literally had brothers going around believing that. So you have to read. Also, you have to know the context of what Paul is talking about. You can't just dive into it and bring this precept into now. It's not into now. It was back then, right? The context is back then, during a time in which you had a lot of Israelites having a debate about whether or not we can eat meat or not. It's not about unclean foods. That's not the topic.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't break down the fact why it says another who is weak eateth herbs. You're trying to relate that to us. We're not saying that. We don't say that you can only eat. We say we can eat meat. We say
Mhm.
that. We just say you can't eat unclean meat, which the Bible says not to. Right?
I got a point, King.
Con, you got it.
Like you were saying, with Paul. Paul knows these things, and even Paul knows that he's not saying nothing different than what the prophets or Moses said or anything like that, right? This is Acts chapter 26 and verse 22. Having therefore ordained help of Yahweh, I continue unto this day, witnessing both to small and great, saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come. So he's speaking the same things that they said. So like brother Yeshua was saying, why would he say all meats and reply to all unclean, had the unclean in it as well?
Right.
Doesn't make sense when he's speaking the same thing the prophets and Moses spoke. So we know, like the brother said, keep it in context, keep it in the audience of that time. But Khan, I just want to make that point, King, because you that was a great valid point. The acting like Paul is saying something different than what any of the forefathers ever said.
Mm-hmm.
King.
Yeah, hey, the water, hey, and likewise, this is a fire precept, man. Saying none other things than those which the prophets and Moses did say should come. And that kind of links up with the precept with the Lord, where it's like Paul talks about, hey, guess what? So worship I the God of my fathers, believing all things that are written, right, in the prophets and in Moses, writings. So he believed in all those things. Okay. So if that's the case, right, even in Romans, right, I can get it real quick. Romans chapter 7, verse 1, he says, know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law. So if his audience already knows the law, why does he have to say that? Why does he have to say, he may eat all clean things? If I'm talking to my brother Cyrek, and I'm saying, yeah, we can eat all things, man. We can, or Salaki, like if we say, if I say, oh yeah, go ahead, eat, get whatever you want, what I'm saying, eat whichever you want. And I gave the brother some money to get some food. Now, does that mean, okay, yeah, I'm giving him permission to, just eat the pork sandwich? No, me and the
Right.
brother already know. We already know the law, so I don't necessarily have to say and go out of my way to say, "Oh, make sure it's clean," right? And putting the finger up, make sure it's clean food, right? And clean meat. I don't have to say that. Obviously, the brother already knows that. I speak to them that know the law, right? So, brother, acting like Paul is talking to, people that have never heard the law before. All right. Now that's the case with certain places, but in this chapter, that's not the case. The context is whether to eat meat or to eat herbs. All right. That's the context. So it says verse 3, right? Oh yeah, we can read verse 3.
Khan. This is Romans chapter 14, verse 3. Let not him that eateth despiseth him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for Yahweh hath received him.
Exactly. Let's read verse 4 as well.
Verse 4. Who art thou that judges another a man's servants? To his own master he standeth or fall. Yeah, he shall be holding up, for Yahweh is able to make him stand.
Exactly. So going into what? Our right to judge, right? If a brother is fully persuaded in his mind that he doesn't want to eat meat or that's sacrificed unto an idol, don't try to constrain him to eat meat. Just leave the brother alone. God have received him, meaning he's in the truth. That's what matters, right? That's what Paul is saying, man. He's not saying, brother eating pork, just leave him alone. No, if a brother's eating pork, we're going to say something, man. Most I won't. We're going to say, hey, brother, look, man, kind of going off, all right? If a brother in the camp, you should pull up eating a pork hot dog, or what's it called? A hot link. He's eating a hot link at camp. It's like, yeah, come, munching on it. brother, what are you doing, Ark? You're literally eating pork, right? So, you know, and the brother pulls Romans 14 verse 3. Let him that eateth despise him that eateth him that eateth not. That's not what that's going into. Meaning, if a brother doesn't want to eat meat, don't try to constrain him to eat. Or if a brother wants to eat meat, don't try to judge him and say, "Ah, you're going off," because he's not. He's eating clean food. He's eating clean food. You can't judge him for that, man. And get on him and say, "Ah, you going off." If a brother wants to eat in and out, for example, it's beef, right, and potatoes. You know, you get the sandwich. You might get the double, whatever. Might get the triple or the the 4 patty, right? Hey, I don't know. I don't know. Right? Whatever you get, If a brother wants to eat in and out, you can't get on that brother and say, Aki going off, you sinning, and most are not dealing with you because you're eating in and out. That's what the brother is saying. Just because a brother is a vegetarian in the truth. That's what that's talking about. It's not talking about if a brother eats pork, because obviously that's not the case, as we see from all these other precepts. All right. So, Khan, you got a point on that, Ark?
Khan.
Okay, Khan, yep. And then I know he read verse 5 as well, right? So you just touch on that and then, kind of wind down to the spirit.
Khan, verse 5. One man esteemeth one day above another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind.
Khan. So really what that's going into is just being fully persuaded in your own mind, man, right? Being fully persuaded in your own mind that you're doing righteousness. Like, for example, you have certain brothers that keep the new moon as a slither moon. When you see the first slither of light. Okay, come on. I mean, brother, that's how you keep it, man. At the end of the day, we can go scripture for scripture and things of that nature. But I mean, that's how you keep it. At the end of the day, you're fully persuaded in your own mind. At least we keeping the law. That's not going into, oh yeah, let's turn Thanksgiving into YAHAWASHI Day.
Man.
So, that's going into it. All right. Definitely not. Definitely not. All right. Definitely not, man, through the spirit. So again, again, this is still rest to this video. We're not going to play the whole thing for the sake of time. It's already almost 12 o'clock over here in the Pacific Standard Time. But Khan, you have anything else on that?
No, it's like like King. He kind of said it through the spirit king. Ain't nothing. Hey, brothers got to persuade in their own mind what they do. Can't judge, like you said, judge another brother based on how they keep the feast days. Things like that.
Khan, yep. Precept on that is Colossians 2 and 16 on down.
And this ain't Romans chapter 14 even kind of links up with 1 Corinthians 10 through the spirit, kind of the same spirit,
Yep.
So that same spirit. I believe 10 24 25 on down. Corinthians 25 on down. So yeah, but Khan,
yep. All praise to the Most High. All praises. So, with that, we're finna close out through the spirit. Brothers can now bring out their closing precepts as well. All right. Bring out their closing precepts. I'll bring out mine as well. And then we're gonna close it out through the spirit, man. All praises, man. Slaughterhouse, man. Slaughterhouse on the humble level. And the Lord did it. And as he says, his own words is all by design. It's all by design. God.
It's 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 4. It says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to be pulling down of strongholds," man. And that's what we do, man, through the spirit, man. Lord willing, to the power of the glory of the Most High, pulling down these strongholds, man. Pulling down, strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalt itself against the knowledge of Yahweh. Right? Hey, brother, really trying to exalt, his doctrine above Yahweh's doctrine, man.
Mm,
You know, literally, man.
literally.
Man. Even damn near he, you know, if I'm not mistaken, but he said he King David, man. How you know you King David? Tell us. You know, because the precepts say different, man. So you saying negate that precept and you put in years all of your precept, the things you say above, right? It's all against the knowledge of Yahweh. And bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Mashiach. And having in all readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled, man. And that's plain, man. That's all we trying to do to the spirit. Casting down imaginations, the lies, the deceits, you know, all through the power of the Most High and with love, man. You know, because that's what
Yep.
we're supposed to do to the spirit. You know, not just let a people rest in a wicked and loins, man. Are they lords? Where do they call it, man? Rest in your loins, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't let you do that, man. You gotta, you know, Lord willing, these precepts will help. The people that's following you, like the comments we read, and then also you through the spirit as well. You know, the kind you got a king.
Yep, exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah, all praises, man. All praises to the spirit. Let's get to the book of, you know, that's why we do this thing, man. That's why we do this. You know, this is truth. This is Sirach chapter 51. Right? Sirach chapter 51 and verse number 28. Get learning with a great sum of money and get much gold by her. Let your soul rejoice in his mercy and be not ashamed of his praise. Work your work betimes, and in his time he will give you your reward. And there's a reward to keep the commandments. You know, there's a reward of that, of keeping the law. All right, as we see. You know, so you just throw that thing away. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to tell you. You know, you just want to throw that law away. All right. So with that, all praises to the Most High. Yahweh Ba'ashem HaMashiach Hamashi Ba'ashem HaMashiach Yahushua. All right, this brother Yashala.
Brother, it's all right.
Come back to yet another video through the Spirit by Yahweh Ba'ashem HaMashiach Yahushua. Lord willing, this video was edifying unto you. The water for all that's tuned in through the Spirit. Call me Yashala. Shalom.
Shalom.